Hello and welcome to another edition of Press Coverage on the big stage in the NovaCare Auditorium this week. This is what happens after a win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got my first win of the season, triple one to reward me. Got to keep it going for next week now.
That's right, so they hop us up on here. But we have plenty to get into, including predictions that we'll offer for this Monday night's game, a big one against the Giants. What you saw out of the Eagles against New Orleans? Do you think it was more of a product of the team that they're playing, or is this team legitimately turned a corner, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's certainly some of both, but I do think a lot of it has to do with their opponent on Sunday. Now, the thing that the Saints didn't do that has given the Eagles trouble in the past is slanting their defensive line. They've had some trouble as they run down the line of scrimmage with defensive linemen crashing back inside and getting that penetration. And I was talking to Lane Johnson about that today, and I asked, well, why do you think they didn't do that? And he was like, I don't really know, but I'm happy they didn't. So it didn't sound like they kind of answered some questions that have been brought up in previous games. The Saints just didn't necessarily pose those questions.
So. Yeah, so it's not as if the Eagles' problems are all cured, but I do think that the offensive line, though the Saints helped them out, did turn a corner to a certain respect. They were able to get it off the ground, and it looked like there was a little bit more uniformity along the offensive front. They were working more as one instead of what appeared to be like five jumbled pieces through the first four games. So it's signs of progress. It's nothing to get too crazy about. And of course, if they can pull this one out on Monday night, then that's when you can start saying that perhaps they're heading in the right direction. So let's get right to that. What do you think? Giants Monday night.
I'm going to take the Giants on this one just because of how good their run defense has been so far this year. They're tied for first with yards per carry allowed, and I just think it's going to be tough for the Eagles to get the run game going. And one of the reasons Bradford was able to get going in the second half and have all those open receivers was because the play action was working so well. They were able to do those bootlegs, get them out of the pocket, and just have receivers open downfield. And I'm not confident that that's going to be there again this week.
I'm going to pick the Eagles just so Chip doesn't take this sweet setup away from us. I do think that there's a chance that they can pull this one out on Monday night. It's at home. It's a huge game. If you look at it from their standpoint, while last week was definitely a desperation game, if you drop to 0-3 in the division here, you're going to be climbing uphill for the rest of the season. And it's going to be tough to win that division. They need a win. They need it big. They need it at home. Monday night, home crowd. I say they get it done. On behalf of Josh Paul Neal, Tim McManus, we'll check you next time right here on Birds 24/7.